Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening. I hope I caught y'all at a good time. Me and Tarot Card Puppy Banjo. I just gave him a treat. He's got a rib bone right now from dinner last night. My mom got some ribs, and so I said, I'm going to take some to go so I can give to Banjo. One second. Okay, sorry for that. You caught me at a good time. Anyway, how's it going? How y'all doing? Happy Sunday, or again, whatever day it is you happen to be watching this. But I do the weekly tarot card readings, me and Benjo. Do the weekly tarot card readings usually on Sunday. I got the card tarot again today. I've been doing again. I've been doing the dog tarot all week this week. But I don't know. I get right here and I said I'm gonna be doing my tarot card video, and I'm just like, "Card tarot." So, uh, like I said, if this format was a little bit different, I would definitely be asking y'all, which tarot card deck do you choose? Do you want your tarot card reading? But since y'all are not here, it's just me and Tarot Card Papa Banjo. Um, I choose, and I choose the card tarot. Um, so yeah, I got my coffee. I got my sand and paws. I'm gonna check really quick what the scent is. It's a red candle. One second. Okay, it's a coconut and palm candle. I think maybe I've told you that before, but maybe not. Anyway, how's it going? You like my look? My aesthetic? I did that half my eyebrows. Just this part of my eyebrows, really. Oh my god, I touched it up and messed it up. Anyway, because I'm wearing this hat. I decided to wear this hat. So I wonder what this tarot card reading is going to be when I have this hat on. But, maybe there's different vibes today other than the hat. That just might be my thing and not anything being brought to a tarot card reading. Maybe. Anyway, so yeah, we have the card tarot. I have this, my sketchbook was a little bit bigger, 7 by 10. And I've been doing these sketches, and I guess you can kind of see, oh, that's what I do all the time. And I haven't been taking the whole page really. Usually when I get the bigger books, I kind of take the whole page. But that hasn't really been the theme with the sketches I've done on this book, so we'll see how that works out. Yeah. So I hope this video reaches y'all in good health, good spirits, and if not, I hope good energy and vibes are surrounding you, despite maybe you personally not feeling in good health and good spirits. I got my plum jasper over here. Yeah, I was thinking about doing the 7-card spread. What do you think? I know it's something that we kind of do all the time. Anyway, so I hope you had a really meditative week. I hope things turned out really well for you, whatever it was. Maybe we listened to it last week, but maybe it's for a different week for y'all. I don't know. Maybe. I felt really meditative this week. So, anyway. Guess we'll see what we got going on in the cards today. What's happening for us in the universe this week? Or maybe another week. It might apply to a different week. I don't know. Okay. Yes, I hope you are doing well. What's going on? Anything new to report? Anything new going on? Anything not new going on? Okay. I hope you did whatever it is you need to do with the deck. Alright. Ooh, Four of Cups. A very interesting card. Okay, for you. I thought I did it wrong. Nope. So our theme, our overshadowing, our maybe even antagonist, protagonist, uh, 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 middle of our tarot card reading card is the Four of Cups. This is a very interesting card, a bride. I like this card. When I first saw this imagery of this card, um, I said, "This is really pleasant." I mean, what could be so wrong here? You got the crow on a tree. He's got the feet on the ground, a cup in the sky. What could be so wrong? But it turns out this is kind of a tricky card when you read the description. When you go past the imagery um, alone. Uh, this card can mean a lot of things. I think especially throughout our tarot card readings that we've had. Um, the description of this card is quite interesting. This card is about, it's Four of Cups, and it's about depression. Um, and keep in mind, I'm not talking about a clinical depression or anything like that. Well, I don't want to say or anything like that, but I'm not specifically talking about like a clinical uh, diagnosis of depression, but just kind of like I don't know, I say that because the way to like look at things, and I guess what kind of glasses to wear when you're observing and looking at things. Um, this Four of Cups is a bit about depression. And it turns out this crow, he doesn't really care about these cups down here, and he doesn't really care about this cup in the clouds either. Um, and the cups are representing emotions and stuff like that. Emotions, loves, dreams, feelings, a psychic energy, which again could just be like you being in tune with things. You're on the right path, doing the right things, type of energy. Um, the harder you work, the luckier you get. It's something that I just learned right now. But anyway, so this card is very interesting, and I think another way to look at this, aside from depression, and depression can also be a lack of feelings, right? Again, I'm not talking about I'm just talking about like if you were to talk with your friend about something because you feel like talking, not for any like those are the glasses to be wearing, right? Um, so depression can kind of be like a feeling numb to things, which I think this maybe this upright Four of Cups is. Um, maybe kind of being separate from these Four of Cups here. This crow is observing these cups and not necessarily having a first person, subjective kind of view with these cups right here. Um, I don't know if you can tell, but it kind of looks like the image of this card kind of looks like there's rain on a window, right? And you're looking at it, you see kind of like the water kind of aspects to this card. um, but yeah, I really like this card. Despite what I just said, um, I think it's interesting as the Four of Cups. This can also be subjective, objective, which is something that I was kind of getting at, which I think is interesting. And again, looks like a pleasant card, so um, seems like you can navigate through things. Maybe it doesn't seem like, there's not like an energy storm, something where you're just like completely out of control of all the elements around you and stuff like that. Um, I'm gonna read the description really quick. Detached and unmotivated. Depression and inability to be excited, find anything to be excited about. And it's interesting because actually the reverse Four of Cups is actually very positive. The upright Four of Cups says, stuff that I had just said, and stuff like that. The reversed Four of Cups, however, is maybe a time of hardship is ending. Your hard work has paid off, which is very interesting. Um, as far as a Four of Cups tarot card goes. Um, so maybe this inability to be excited about things is very interesting, and to have the card reversed, and usually the cards reversed are usually the negative, or maybe the not so pleasant, not the easiest path description and meaning in the card. So I think it's very interesting as far as this Four of Cups and this kind of depression, detachment, numbness, inability to, I say inability, I don't want to be offensive, but this non participation in emotions and feelings and stuff like that. So that's very interesting. Um, I wonder why. So in our past, we have this reverse Five of Wands. This is very interesting. Upright, this is just an absolutely great card. I think it's an absolutely great card. Upright, we have these crows, each have a different color wand. The different color represents different culture, different philosophies, and stuff like that. And they're fighting, but they're all on the same team. It's like they're honing their skills and stuff like that. Reversed, I think this card means the opposite and maybe not so pleasant. Give me a second while I review the description. Oh, that's right. So in the past, with our reverse Five of Wands, we have somebody who is the opposite. Somebody who avoids conflict and confrontation, which again is the exact opposite of the upright Five of Wands. So this is very interesting. This is in our past. If I were to get this tarot card spread, I would be like, okay, that's the antagonist to my tarot card reading. Because I am not one to avoid conflict, especially if it's prolonged. I personally feel like it's better to address things than to not. Um, I mean, it's situational, of course, but as far as like the different colored wands and the different cultural backgrounds, and this upright, these crows want to participate in this practice and debate to elevate their skills and talent and stuff like that. So reversed, I see this card as somebody avoiding conflict as a way to be controlling, um, which could be a passive aggressive type of environment. Um, I personally see this card as something that has a hint of negativity to it, maybe a hint of certainly not helping us move forward. So I would say in the past we have an element here that has some sort of power and authority, even though again it's the Five of Wands, and maybe the power and authority is from this avoiding conflict, which would be interesting here with this Four of Cups. It might explain this Four of Cups here because you have the fire, which is ideas, innovation, travel, and spirituality, as the card for somebody who avoids confrontation and conflict, even if it means something good can come out of that. Um, so as far as this reverse Five of Wands and this Four of Cups, I can kind of understand why somebody would be a bit detached from their emotions, considering this past card. Um, so let's see what the present is. The Page of Swords. Well, this is very interesting. The air element. So now we have cups, fire, and air. The Page of Swords, upright. Y'all know me, I usually don't like the pages, especially the Page of Pentacles, whether upright or reversed. Um, but here again, this Page of Swords is very different, especially in imagery, from the Page of Pentacles. This and very interesting kind of imagery from this reversed Five of Wands here. It seems like in the present, a very kind of individual, independent style going on. Right here, it's an energy storm, but it could also just be like not something that's happening to you, but something you're bringing to the table, right? With this Page of Swords here. Swords is intellect, logic, and communication. Um, so I would say this is a very positive card. And as far as this center Four of Cups here, I would say this is probably a smart card to have. Um, Looking at things intellectually and logically and with reason is, I wouldn't say the worst case scenario, and I would probably be very complimentary, considering these reverse Five of Wands and this Four of Cups here. Um, so yeah, obviously have the feathers here, so there's some sacrifice and discipline going on. Um, it's the page, and I think that's interesting. I usually, if you don't know, I usually kind of don't like the pages because I think they're given a lot of leniency and leniency and that kind of responsibility kind of card, it being like page, queen, and king, or page, knight, king, and queen. I think that usually the pages, I say a bit of adolescence, but I don't necessarily mean age. I just mean to describe where maybe there's a lot of mistakes allowed to be made for whatever reason, and not getting the consequences for those mistakes, um, which is usually why I don't like the pages. I think maybe there shouldn't be room for um, making all of these mistakes. Um, so I think this is very interesting here. Maybe this Page of Swords can denote a similar type of attitude that towards somebody else, um, and yeah, um, uh, yeah. One second. Um, and just to add to that, as far as the pages go, and maybe it this is the Page of Swords, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's us. It could apply to here, right? This Page of Swords element, this energy storm, um, crow. It could be sometimes things are seen as conflict when they're not. And I think that would go into that kind of adolescence theme. Again, I'm not talking about age, I'm just talking about the situation. Um, and I guess a bit of emotional immaturity, right? Um, so maybe this Four of Cups, this crow could be guarding, these cups over here because of someone or something, whatever happened in the past. But present, we have this Page of Swords, and I would say that's a really good card. Probably a lot of smart and intellectual and logical moves being made to approach whoever or whatever was in the past. Um, so, surprise, surprise, we have the hidden card, our hidden influence today is the Hierophant. The Hierophant is coupled with the High Priestess. Major Arcana deck card, and I do believe a Pentacle element. But let me make sure. Yeah. It's the Hierophant and the High Priestess, but in between them is the Empress and the Emperor. So the High Priestess is water, emotions, feelings, and stuff. The Empress is earth. The Emperor is fire. And the Hierophant, the card that we have here, is earth. So I think it's interesting that you say, well, why, as far as organizing the tarot cards, why wouldn't it be the High Priestess, the Hierophant, and then the Empress and the Emperor? Why do the Empress and Emperor have to be in between the High Priestess and Hierophant? That's a good question. I don't really know. I don't really have an answer for you. But as far as the elements go, I think it's very interesting. This kind of, if you were to go masculine and feminine, solar and lunar, the High Priestess being water and the Emperor being fire, and then the Empress being earth and the Hierophant being earth. And as far as that goes, I really like the description in the Dog Tarot about describing the Pentacle and Earth element. The Earth encompasses a lot. In the Dog Tarot, it says it encompasses material things, wealth, even the dirt on the ground and the soil and stuff like that. But anyway, I digress. What we have hidden today is the Hierophant. The Hierophant can be here. You see images of maybe a church or a religious a place. You have a key here, so that can instead of like sword and air being knowledge, you can have this key for the earth element, kind of representing knowledge, right? You have something locked or blocked. You have this key here, and then you have access to opportunity and knowledge and stuff like that. This Hierophant can represent a religious leader um, type quality. Can represent, I like to associate this card with psychology, especially in institutions. So, how I was saying, this is not, this Four of Cups here is depression is not to be worn with the glasses of um, uh, 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 informality. Um, but here the Hierophant is opposite but hidden. This Hierophant is really good at psychology. Um, you could say a religious leader, which might bring in the fire aspect a little bit. Maybe it's just to emphasize the fire element. I really like the elements, and so I can't wait to see what y'all have to say about that. But anyway, um, yeah, the Hierophant here is about structure, institutions, and psychology. Um, health is definitely a part of this card. Um, and so yeah, this is the hidden influence today. So I would say another major, our first major arcana deck card, I would say is a really positive and kind of, I guess, protective, just because it's hidden. Um, uh, Vibe we got going on. Because usually institutions and structure is not really something that you associate with maybe kind of this kind of protective energy, right? It's just kind of usually not associated with that, right? Um, and if you're wondering, I think the High Priestess is about psychology, but a little bit more different. If I had to, it's hard to describe. I can understand it in my head, but if I had to describe it, I would say this Hierophant here is more about psychology and like institutions and structure, as far as like places in society and stuff like that. And I would say the High Priestess is about psychology, but a little bit more like voodoo, kind of a situation there. As far as like, uh, I don't know, going about things and stuff like that. The High Priestess is about psychology, but works a little differently than the Hierophant. And the Hierophant here has like a key, or the light, right? It's kind of white right there. And the Hierophant, I guess, works with light, and I would say the High Priestess works with darkness and stuff. Um, as far as the Empress and the Emperor, I think they're very interesting. I prefer the Cat Tarot and the Dog Tarot definitions to the Empress, but I think it's very interesting. The Crow Tarot definitions, because there could be again a really big downside if anything wrong or negative is happening there. So anyway, as far as all this goes, I would say the problem right now is something about our past, um, where we maybe were cut off from what could appear to some as conflict. But I would say usually in those situations when you're trying to avoid something, you end up just creating like a worse problem. Um, there's a time and a place for everything, but I would say in our past, it's kind of passive aggressive, kind of controlling situation. It has not been good. Um, And I would say that probably our survival instincts from that are probably intact, despite this kind of negative energy in the past that is probably goes against that. Um, a really good present, and stuff like that. A hidden influence, kind of a protective energy today, especially with psychology. It's very interesting. Our obstacle is the reverse hermit, which I think would go really well with this, or not really well, but I can understand. I would automatically, as a tarot card reader, I would say this goes with this reverse Five of Wands here. The Five of Wands is about not only understanding your own kind of culture and philosophy. I say philosophy because I think it's, you know, a little bit, I don't know, less restricting. Um, a little bit more movability, a room for questioning, um, instead of just a strict lines and stuff like that. So anyway, um, I would say this obstacle today, this reversed hermit, an earth element, obviously, it probably goes along the lines of whatever's happening in our past. So for some reason, um, whatever is happening in our past is really much present right now in our tarot card spread, which is interesting. Um, this reversed hermit, though, another major arcana deck card, um, I think really interesting next to this hidden hierophant here. Um, so if the reversed hermit and the reversed Five of Wands is trying to get away with anything, I would say that they're probably going to be seen. They're probably not concealing what maybe they hope to be concealing. Um, And I think this reversed hermit is very interesting above this Four of Cups here. If I had bet on somebody, I would bet on this Four of Cups here, even though it might not be as showy and flashy and by the book as this reversed hermit card here. Um, and I would say maybe there's some stuff going on. Of all the places this uh, Five of Wands could go, it went to the reversed Hermit card. So that's very interesting. There's obviously some sort of observation, um, analysis going on as far as for y'all, for us, whoever happens to be with this Four of Cups here. Um, that happens to be in an environment where it avoids conflict for the sake of peace, or no. Um, and obviously, avoiding conflict again, as the more that I look at this, the more I think it's about power and control. Um, uh, Especially considering this Hermit card right above this Four of Cups here. So this reversed Hermit, it could be making mistakes in a really big way. It being the Hermit being the in a major arcana deck card. Um, so as far as appropriately feeling emotions, I would say that knowing the full scope, I would say that our something in our past, which is now an obstacle today, is probably not doesn't have the right either the right emotions or the right amount of emotions. they might be going overboard with their emotions with this reversed Hermit card, um, it, where it doesn't make any sense, would be my guess. This Four of Cups here, kind of seems a bit appropriate as far as um, uh, this emotion is for this environment, and there's not an overreaction or underreaction, even though that is something that might be denoted with this Four of Cups. Um, and again, very interesting with this reverse Four of Cups being your hard work's going to pay off. I think that's an interesting theme here, a kind of a different way to maybe approach life or approach a task or a situation, being with everything that I said with this Page of Cups and these two reverse cards here, and this upright Four of Cups. So what I'm saying is we may be in a situation with these Four of Cups where hard work is going to pay off and stuff like that. But it's kind of seen in a different way, dealt with in a different way, which again, I would probably be very complimentary towards. This seems very interesting and unique, what's going on here, even though there is the problem of this reversed Five of Wands and the reversed Hermit, which I think has a lot to do with uh, passive aggressivity, power and control. Um, uh, it's not a matter of avoiding confrontation, but it's a matter of somebody does not have the skill set for confrontation. Um, and so with this reversed Hermit card, it's about inner light and wisdom and stuff like that. So I would say this is a smart move. I would say this is a really good turn of events um, for somebody who is under the guise of avoiding conflict and confrontation. Knowing that it is very much in our present, even though it's something that happened in our past. It is here at the obstacle is the reversed Hermit, and so I would say there's not much inner light and wisdom there. And maybe which again I would put my money on this Four of Cups. That seems a smart move to make in the past, and especially now that we see this obstacle here as the reversed Hermit. So I'm gonna end this video here, or I might just forget when the video ends at 38 minutes and 40 seconds. But I'm gonna see y'all in part 2. Thanks for tuning into part 1. We're halfway done, so I hope you tune into part 2, unless you don't want to know your future.